Welcome. I'm Robin.
I'm Gabby.
All right, today we're going to give you this life-changing strategy, and it's so easy. It's ridiculous how easy this is. But first, if you're new to our channel, Be the Hero Academy, we'd love if you could subscribe. We'd love if you left us a comment and told us what you want to hear more of, because Isabel does such an amazing job on our channel of sharing astrology information. Gabby and I tend to stick more towards how to live your passions and purpose, how to live your best life. While it's really important to understand your astrology, because that's kind of like your soul's imprint, your soul's blueprint, there's more to your blueprint than just that. That's why in a few weeks, we are doing a 5-day, totally free, in-depth Best Life Blueprint workshop, where we are going to help you script out exactly what your best life looks like. Yes, we will be looking at your natal chart a little bit and knowing your moon sign and your north node. That's helpful. It's helpful, but it is a small part of what it takes to actually tangibly live your best life ever. So today I'm going to teach you guys one of the best strategies that you can do. So for me, Gabby, if you don't know already, is my daughter. She's my second oldest, my oldest daughter. And I'm hoping she can affirm this, but since she was as young as I can remember, I had set the intention that I wanted her to grow up and be close to me, to be my friend, to be somebody who wants to hang out with me. It was really important that while she didn't have to do everything with me, in fact, tomorrow she's gonna go climb this massive mountain, massive glacier, that I was like, you know what, I'm out. Just go have fun with somebody else. You know, I wanted you to want me around, but you know what, I don't need to do that yet. Which was a transition for me from my past. So I wanted somebody, it was really clear, like she was a little baby and she was very attached to me. And it was like, I want you to be close to me, but I don't need you to like be that close forever. But it's really important that if something exciting happens, that she'd call me and say, Mom, guess what? So that was my intention from the beginning. But the thing is I'm human and I have all these weird emotions like anger and joy and excitement and frustration, and a lot of frustration. And then anger comes up again because I'm an Enneagram 8. And then joy and love and excitement, and then anger and frustration again. And what happens for me a long time ago, when maybe Gabby was from like 5 to 8, I would accumulate these emotions. And I'd just grip them really tight and I'd be like, but you don't understand. I'd have this intention, like, I want you to love me, and I'd feel it like squeezing, and I go, wait, I want her to be friends with me later. So I would just let go. I'd just let go and just be like, okay, this is silly. I don't need to be this angry. I don't need to be this frustrated. But it would keep happening. Like, as much as you let go, those emotions still come back, and you're like, and you start to grip them softer and lighter. And now I feel like they just kind of like pass through. Like, they might brush my hand, but they don't hold on to them as much. And for me, the secret was 2 things. So I had that intention. I knew very much, like, I want this outcome. But I kind of judged myself. I beat myself up. Why am I like this? Why am I so controlling? Why do I speak in such an assertive tone? Why am I like this? And then I eventually loosened my grip on how I judged myself, and I could literally loosen my grip on these emotions. Instead of like, oh my gosh, why? I'd be like, yep, well, that's just me. But you know what? Every day I'm getting a little bit better. Every day I'm learning, wow, thanks life. You just taught me another thing. And you just literally just accept that you're human. Accept that you're never going to be perfect. You're always going to create emotion. There's no way to live life and not have emotions. In fact, the more exciting of a life you live, you might have more emotions because you have a higher standard for what a good life is. I think the amount we've traveled makes it so that sometimes we have more of a roller coaster of emotions because our expectation has expanded on what is possible. We don't live in this small bubble anymore. So intention and just acceptance that you're a human being who's going to have emotions.
Yeah, I think one of the weirdest things about biggest ironies of total, like what we could call self-mastery, and self-mastery is not just like this selfless thing. It's not like this servitude of, oh, I should be a self-mastered person. When you are in self-mastery, that's when you find fulfillment, because you find inner peace in self-mastery. You find, like I said, fulfillment in your self-mastery. You have personal power, the power over yourself, to be able to choose what you want and what you don't want. But getting to that, the irony is that it's all about embracing all of the emotions, and that's one huge hurdle. And then the second huge hurdle is letting them go. And so for myself, the first hurdle was a huge one. It's still, I mean, I'm getting close there, but like feeling in this day and age, we've been taught that like, oh, emotions are bad. Unless you feel happy or good or like under control, you shouldn't feel emotions. Like negative emotions are negative. Like, why have we put that anger is a bad thing or sadness is a bad negative emotion? It's just an emotion. So the first part of being able to get to that point of letting go is to allow yourself to feel them. Now even though I say that's hurdle 1 and hurdle 2, they do happen simultaneously, because within the span of, let's call it a few hours, and let's say we're talking and we start having like a conflict in our verbiage, in our dialogue, those two things are going to happen very closely consecutively. Like a month ago, we were having like a conversation like that where it's escalating. And internally, I probably would have resolved it faster if I had just let myself feel faster, but instead I just repress it as long as I can. Try to not feel it at all. But inevitably in some way, it usually comes out. It might come out the next day on someone else. It might come out a year later in a health symptom, but it's going to find a way to come out. So you might as well just let it come out in the moment and try to accept it in the moment. But then once you feel it and it runs its course, that's when you're able to let it go. And now that you can let it go, you can go, oh, that was ridiculous. That's so funny. That's so funny that my brain was lying to me, because that's the thing that ends up happening. When you are feeling triggered, the root of what makes you triggered and have an emotion that now needs to be processed is just because of programming. Your programming of what you believed happened to you as a child, whether or not it did, is how you perceive something happening to you. That becomes what you see the world as. And that's how or more importantly, not how you see the world, but how you see yourself. And so if something happens in a conflict that reaffirms what you already believe, whether it's that I'm not wanted, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, I'm not special, whatever is reaffirmed is just a neural pathway. That's all we can think of it as. It's just a neural pathway. I'm not actually not worthy or not enough. It's just a neural pathway. And what happens is, when we have a conversation, something happens, that neural pathway gets triggered, which sends a signal to an emotion. But then that emotion is now going to think of every other time in your life that you also felt that way. And so now you have to let the emotions run through. But the thing is, you have to let the emotions run through you, and while you're doing that, you go, that's not true. It's just like the sticks. That's just my programming. That's all it is. It's not reality. You have to recognize that while our brains have service in a lot of ways, our brains are the biggest thing that are holding us back from feeling at peace, from feeling a sense of passion and purpose in our lives. And when you realize that alone and can apply that knowledge on a daily basis, that's when you find that emotional freedom.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to be teaching you in our Best Life Blueprint, is how to change that neural pathway. And one of the simplest ways to do it is to hijack it to positive emotions, right? As Gabby was explaining, an action happens that signals an emotion that sends us back to the past. But if we can hijack that and stop the process from happening by putting in the positive emotion and stacking your life to line up with those positive emotions, right? Then all of a sudden there's no room. Your brain's on the emotion it wants to be. Take something simple like our travel life, right? We get to tomorrow, Gabby's gonna go climb this awesome mountain. And so right now her brain's thinking, I am so excited to summit Forbidden Peak. I have wanted to summit Forbidden Peak for so long. This is going to be so exciting. She thinks about, oh man, it's going to be so great to put that ice axe in my hand and put those crampons on. This is adventurous. This is exciting. This is joyous. These are all these emotions. Now, luckily, she has those to tap into because she's felt those emotions before, but she just keeps her head thinking about that. She doesn't think about, oh man, I'm really scared to get up at 3 a.m. and it's gonna be so uncomfortable to like make my coffee in 35-degree weather again. And no, she's focusing on the joy, excitement, adventure. She's already decided she likes those emotions. She wants more of those emotions. She knows because she lives her best life blueprint. She already knows that summiting a mountain will create those emotions. Therefore, she's trained her brain to be like positive emotion, activity associated with positive emotion. Now, last part, I got to put it in my schedule. I put it in my schedule. I'm doing this thing. I'm living my best life blueprint because I thought the emotion, I found the activity that aligns with that emotion. I put it in my schedule. Now I'm doing it, right? It's so simple, but yet you have to ask yourself, what's the emotion that you're normally feeling day in and day out? Does that emotion match what your schedule looks like? Or vice versa? Does your schedule match the emotions that you're feeling? We can change this. We can rewire it. It's very, very easy. Okay, so click the link below.
Yeah, if you click the link below, if amplifying your energetic being sounds like, yes, that is what I want, then all you have to do is join us inside Your Best Life Blueprint, where we're going to help you break the pattern, your old patterns, and help you write the story of your new self. So all you have to do is check out the description or the caption down below, and you'll find out how you can sign up and click the link to join and sign up for free, and join us inside our live training.